The Media Project.
Excuse me, do you mind if I join you? Are you sure you don't mind? You're absolutely sure about me to stand here?
Fabulous secret powers were revealed to me the day I held aloft my magic sword and said...
Hello and welcome to the Mental Suppository. I'm Brett Herholtz.
I'm Andrew Shanley.
I'm Jamie Billings.
And I'm Wayne Nevis.
Before we begin, you guys need to know about a new sponsor.
Another one?
You can't make these things up.
Are you kidding me? Yes, you can. Sorry.
Shh.
This week's episode is brought to you by the Tourist Board of the town of Clinton, Massachusetts. Come on out and see what Clinton has to offer.
Did somebody say Clinton?
Bill Clinton?
You got that right. I'm the spokesperson for Clinton, Massachusetts.
You are?
I sure am. Why wouldn't I be? They named the place after me.
I don't think they did.
What?
Clinton was incorporated in 1850.
Then what the crap am I doing here? You know what? Screw this. I'm gone. Why did I come out here?
Clinton, Massachusetts. Agnes Moorehead from Bewitched was born here.
Could be worse. Could be Spencer, Mass. Did somebody say Spencer? I'm for hire.
Get out of here,
Robert Urich!
Okay, I don't know if you guys.
Stop.
Yeah. Ooh.
No matter what you say.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw the new trailer for Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe Revelation.
Yes, I have.
Yes, I did.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought it was pretty cool, actually.
I thought it was pretty nifty.
I liked that there was a lot of the animation looked very reminiscent of the original.
But it was one of these things that also.
But better?
But better, yes. Yeah, well, more crisp and high definition.
It's a little more anime-ish.
Well, I think it's like they started announcing the program, doing the program back in, it was like either 2019 or 2020.
Yeah.
I first read about it, and at first I'm just like, oh, that they're not using a lot of the original voices. I was kind of disappointed, but a lot of them aren't around anymore. I mean, I think Linda Gary, who played Tila, and of course Lou Scheimer are no longer with us.
Yeah.
And I think the voice of He-Man now John Irwin is in a retirement home. The only person who's still working is Alan Oppenheimer, who plays Skeletor.
Skeletor, yeah.
Right.
And then I saw the cast they have for this version
I
of
didn't
Masters
see
of the
who do they have?
They have Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
what? Really?
Yeah, Mark Hamill as Skeletor.
That makes perfect sense.
that's
if you think
and
about it.
That's
because if
right.
you watch the trailer, it's his voice.
I
doing-
didn't catch up on that.
Oh, you
no.
did. They have Lena Headey from Game of Thrones as Evelyn.
Or 300. Yeah.
Yep. Liam Cunningham from Game of Thrones, who plays Davros.
Davros.
Yep, he plays Man at Arms. They have,
nice.
They have
cool. Yeah.
Alicia Silverstone, I think, is Queen Marlena.
Batgirl.
Yes.
As if.
As if.
They have Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Sarah Michelle
Gellar.
As Tila.
Really?
Yeah, she's
As
Tila.
Tila? Oh, God, I had a thing for her.
I think everybody had a thing. about it.
It was the
Tila?
90s.
No.
No, not Tila.
Well, a little
The
bit.
other.
For me, it was Evelyn.
Yeah.
God, she likes
You liked you a bad girl, huh?
He liked
love
bad
the
girls.
bad
Wayne
girls.
likes the bad girls.
But
He likes the
I mean, this
evil
is a
ones.
great cat, and I mean, they have Kevin Conroy as Merman in it.
Kevin Conroy.
Batman.
Batman. Yes. I was like
Batman
that name.
voice, yeah.
I was like, ding, ding, ding.
And
where's
actually,
that
the
going?
actress who played Wonder Woman in the Justice League cartoons playing the Sorceress.
Oh,
Gal
really?
Gadot?
Okay.
No.
In the
Wonder Woman,
cartoons.
the Justice League
Oh,
animated series.
Animated series,
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
I think that obviously my first each one of us has like the He-Man story of how we got introduced to it. I remember actually getting a He-Man action figure for Christmas one year and just like having the comic before the TV show came out or any of that other stuff. It was really the only figure I ever got from the line was the He-Man figure.
I think most of us, yeah.
That was
Mine was actually friends of mine. I think their parents had gotten them all these like Masters of the Universe figures, and they had Castle Grayskull.
I
And
was always jealous of those.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just
You
remember.
bastard, how do your parents afford a Castle Grayskull?
Well,
It's
that's
like
the
affording
thing.
a
And I think that was the
condo.
first time
I
I saw
had
the
a Castle Grayskull. Yeah.
Fuck you.
I think that was the first time I saw the cartoon too. Was through the Friends, and it
Wayne,
was just like
did you have the G.I. Joe aircraft carrier?
No.
All right, good. So
I don't think.
There you go.
Then I don't hate you.
I
Totally.
don't think many people had that, but
I knew one kid that did.
Did he sleep on it?
I don't.
you probably could have.
He replaced his bed with the aircraft carrier, and he's like sleeping on the.
But
airbag.
to have Castle Grayskull meant that you had status,
Dude,
you know?
yeah, that was the play set to have. Like of all the toys back in the 1980s, that was the play set that you wanted to have more than anything else.
I also remember a lot about the toys, the little gimmicks that they used to have.
Yes.
When He-Man started, they were like, "Oh, how can we sell more He-Man characters?" They used to do the battle damage chest.
I had that one.
I had so many of those, as I remember them vividly. You just give them a little flick, and they'd flip over
As a
and be
kid, you
battle
think they were
damaged.
so cool.
I thought it was the bomb.
Oh yeah.
It was great.
And then they had like each individual figure had like their own little unique thing that they would do, like Stinkor and
Oops, sorry.
Yeah.
everything else. Yep.
What was the name of the character that I know as an action figure? He had his little dial on top of his head. That you can flip.
Triclops.
Oh, the guy that spinned his head around.
Oh, okay.
yes,
I
yes,
think
yes. I
Triclops
had
had
him
the-
too.
yeah. Oh.
He had like 3 different heads or something, and you just spin.
Oh,
his head
Many
around.
Faces.
Many Faces.
That was a cool
Many
character.
Faces.
Many
yeah.
Faces.
Well, it's funny.
Original names.
I just recently rewatched. Netflix has a great documentary called Power of Grayskull, and on it, I think I sent you guys the link. And there's a bad version of it on YouTube, but on the documentary, they have the original He-Man commercial that like sort of introduced Masters of the Universe to everybody.
Yeah.
And on the
Really?
commercial, they had animation done by Filmation before the series came out, and this was like decent, compared to like what usually Filmation did. This was actually like decent, fairly fluid animation, but it was different looking because they based it more on the toys. And the only voice that really sounded like the He-Man voice was He-Man at that point. So I think when the cartoon came out, they said, "We'll stick with that voice." But actually, even Skeletor's voice in the commercial sounded different. It wasn't
different? Oh.
Yeah, it had more of a "I'll get you, He-Man" sort of voice.
You don't picture Skeletor
No,
having
and
a
that was the
very
thing.
very low threatening
I know.
voice.
You had like
Just
Skeletor. He's like, "What's going on around here?
I know,
You
that-
boob?"
Like always,
I
now that I
said
think
boob.
about it, is the Skeletor that we were just talking about
Yep.
with the
So,
high pitched.
but this is that thing that they were sort
Like
of
a-
creating the
like a
continuity.
No, he
snide
sounds like
side
Edward G. Robinson. If Edward G. Robinson was Skeletor. Yeah, He-Man. Yeah.
But it shows they were sort of creating the continuity as it went along. I mean, a lot of the stuff when the figures first came out, and you read the original mini comics, there was no Prince Adam, there was no King
It was
and Queen.
basically He-Man came from a tribe somewhere.
Yes, he was like a
wow.
nomad king.
Really?
And that was the other shtick about the He-Man figures is if you took He-Man's sword and Skeletor's swords, you combine the two and you could unlock Castle Grayskull. And whoever,
Immediately, Wayne's like, I knew that.
yeah. And that was the thing. Whoever had the swords had the power of Grayskull. So that was the whole shtick.
Right, that's the whole
I
point
have
of the
power.
cartoon is the fact that he's trying to get He-Man's sword.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
He-Man doesn't give a crap, but Skeletor wants his sword.
And the funniest thing,
am Prince Adam.
and the funniest thing is, I didn't find out about like the connecting swords till like years and years later when I was watching that documentary. It's like no kidding, But it's like that was the whole thing. It's like He-Man was based on they were originally supposed to get the rights to Conan, and
I was
then
gonna say,
Mattel
around that time.
and then Mattel found out Conan was going to be an R-rated movie. It's like we're not going to sell a lot of toys to kids for the.
Also around that time, like Red Sonja came out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, Red Sonja
Sonja
came out about a year and a half later.
Oh, okay.
After Conan, but
Yep.
it's a funny story about that because
Did you guys hear something?
No, that's my chair.
Oh, that was you making it. I thought someone was knocking at the door. and
No,
I'm
no,
like,
no. The
some-
chair's squeaking.
Oh, okay.
It was Bill Clinton.
Oh, I'm still here.
I can't find my way out.
Can you guys unlock the door or at least give me a piece of the pizza? I don't. Oh,
You don't get pizza, Bill.
Oh, okay. I'll just sit over here in the corner.
Get back in your corner.
All right.
Shut up.
But yeah, like I remember a lot of kids having. I think every kid I knew had a He-Man toy.
Yeah.
of some
Had
kind.
to have a He-Man toy.
Who also having the Panther.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, Battle Cat.
Battle Cat.
Well, also Skeletor had his own.
Having Battle Cat was another status.
Oh,
symbol.
yeah.
yeah.
Well,
Because
yeah.
for some reason it seems like there's some kind of weird disconnect, like something different about toys these days. When a parent goes to buy a toy and it's like, "Well, Mom and Dad, this toy is like $80," and the parent's like, "Oh, okay, it's $80." But I remember going to
gosh.
the fair.
Man.
Remember going to the Spencer Fair?
Yep.
We'd walk
Yep.
down and go to the toy section, and there it is, a Star Wars action figure. Mom, I want it. That's $5. No, we're not. We can't afford that. We're not going to buy that. That's a waste of money. But oh my God, it seems
now
like
it's like
so,
$10 or $15,
dude.
yeah,
I look.
but
I look.
no.
Walmart.
These days,
Yeah.
if you look at like something like from Hot Toys, we're talking like an action figure that we would have died for.
Oh, yeah.
is like $300 to $400.
God,
Well,
yeah.
not
You
even
know?
that. Just the average price of toys nowadays. Like they're like $20 for an action
Right,
figure.
right.
And
Right.
this actually goes right into some of the issue like that I've actually had with toys nowadays. And I'll be honest with
Being
you.
a parent who plays with a lot of toys.
I mean, look, we're all nerds. We all have friends of mine that collect it and everything else. That you go through the toy aisle, you'll see action figures that'll be like $20-$30, and you're thinking to yourself, no kid is going to play with this, you know?
It's
And
going to be
I
the
kinda-
parent who's going to have it up on their.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's just going to send up. It's going to stay in the same box.
is our retirement plan.
It's going to be put right on the wall, and it's never going to go up in value. It might go up $1 or $2.
That's the worst. They think it will go up in value,
Yes.
but
But
it
it won't.
will not.
And
No.
the problem is that you have kids today that don't have toys to play with because they cost too much money.
That's right.
Because
Yeah.
who wants to take a $20 action figure to school with them in their pocket and then lose it and go, oh crap, there goes $20.
Right.
Or what I used to do all the time was trade it. See, the thing with these Star Wars action figures with me growing up was me and my friends, we would just get all different types so we could just trade with each other back and
Oh
forth.
yeah.
Actually, Skeletor had his own ride-around cat, Panther.
Yes, Panther.
Yep.
I do remember Panther, which was also another.
Well,
one.
that was the thing that watching the documentary, a lot of the toys when they were trying to get them made is the actual tiger that became Battle Cat was like a big Jim
Yep.
action figure, and
It was repurposed.
yep, and
It
they
was
and so when they were looking at it next to the He-Man figures, that cat's as big as a horse. It just doesn't look right. And
Yeah.
the guy's like, put a saddle on it, and it'll be fine.
and put some armor over his face.
Yep. And guess what? People bought
Yeah, I'll
it.
buy it. Yeah.
You know, it was just like peanut butter and jelly. It was just like what do boys want to play with? You know, what kind of action figures?
Well, we
do they
figured
want?
that out later on.
Well, it's interesting that you point that out because if any one of you, probably none of you, but have any of you played World of Warcraft?
Nope.
The
No.
creature that you ride around on is a giant cat. Just like He-Man's cat, with a saddle and everything.
Yep.
And you can get extra armor for it. So
Exactly.
for some reason, people have issues with horses. They like cats.
I love cats. But actually, it's funny because you think about a lot of this stuff that was created for He-Man. I mean, you have to owe a lot of it to Filmation and Lou
Yeah.
Scheimer and just that cartoon because I mean that between that and I think there was a comic book that came out a little bit before that sort of developed the whole King and Queen of Eternia and Prince Adam. But I mean, before that, like we said, it was like He-Man was a warrior, a nomad warrior king, and that sort of created the Filmation created a lot of that continuity, and some of it was kind of based on like Shazam or Captain Marvel from
Captain Marvel, yeah.
DC Comics, where the whole thing of Prince Adam transforming into He-Man was very much like Captain Marvel,
Right,
where
you would
Billy
say-
Batson would
where you
say the magic word.
You would say a magic word, and then suddenly you'd be transformed.
Which is funny
Yeah.
because Filmation had done a couple different adaptations of Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
One was in animation, one was a live action in the 1970s. So you kind of wonder
Yes,
if
I do. Oh wow, I do vaguely remember the 1970s Shazam.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
Yeah.
I think I kind of wonder if some of that was Lou Scheimer liked the Captain Marvel character and wanted to add that to He-Man, because you had the sort of the sort of wimpy Prince Adam who strangely kind of looked like He-Man.
That was the worst secret identity ever.
It
There
was
wasn't
like
even
black
glasses. There wasn't a curl of
The
hair.
only thing I
shift,
hated
there was
about-
nothing.
It's like
Jeez, I
you
hate
look a
about
lot
Prince
like
Adam.
He-Man.
Gosh,
just
King
with
Randor, your son
clothes.
gosh, King Randor, your son kind of looks like He-Man. No, he doesn't. He wears a pink shirt. He's fine.
What are you talking about?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
I'm not
I
He-Man.
just hated his haircut.
Oh, you mean the Prince Valiant page
Horrible
boy look?
Prince Valiant. Come back, Prince Valiant.
Nice. But still, I mean that whole thing of changing it. It's sort of the secret identity, changing it to He-Man. Only a few people know his secret. That whole thing, and they didn't even have an origin story in the first episode.
No.
You found that all
He
out.
just
in the-
shows up.
You found that, but because you found that all out during the first few minutes of the credit. He, basically he tells you a story, and as a a 7 or 8 year old, like, well, that's fine by me.
You didn't
Get into
have
the
to
s-
have a backstory for kids.
No, you really didn't.
It was just
No,
like
we didn't
you
care.
snapped your fingers.
That's the
and
point.
kid
At that
gets it.
age,
At that
we
age,
didn't
you
know.
don't care about
You're just
backstory.
like-
No.
There you go. He's He-Man. He's gonna kick Skeletor's ass, and that's what you're gonna see. You know, that's
Why
what
are
you
they
want.
doing this?
Why do we
don't
have to
know.
have backstory? Why do we have to have all this talking? Just get to the action and
No,
whatever.
actually, if I could
Right.
remember, you'd be like, so why are they doing this? Because Skeletor's the bad guy? As
And
if,
that's it.
being a kid, that's all you would think.
That's all you care
Exactly.
about.
Yeah.
You know, it was very simple. It was the '80s was a great time to be a kid because
that
when
was-
they had properties like
Yeah.
that.
And that was the first time they did. It was the first, made for TV toy show, but it was also the first weekday afternoon first run syndicated show.
Yeah.
Did you happen to see the Netflix series, The Toys That Made
Yes,
Us?
Yes,
that was
I actually
that was
saw that.
fantastic.
The He-Man episode.
that one and the Transformers
also
one
very
was
good.
really good.
That's a very good series,
Yeah.
actually. Anyone else listening, please watch that.
I would
series.
highly recommend
That one in
show.
Power
The Toys That
Grayskull's
Made Us,
really
and
good.
also
Yeah.
they started another one. I think it's called The Movies That Made Us.
Yes.
Yeah.
So they're starting to discuss Ghostbusters. I think was on there as
Yeah.
well. So
Yep.
previous episodes we've done.
But I think a lot has to be
mean-
said about the cast too. They had a small cast of characters.
Yes.
Cast of voice actors at least that did He-Man. Most of them were voiced by Alan Oppenheimer, who did Skeletor, Man at Arms, Cringer, Battle Cat.
Right.
You got to give it up.
He was
to
kind of
those-
like the Mel Blanc, Frank Welker of the group. He was kind of the go-to guy who you'd have that one guy in the group who can do all the voices. So you had and I think with Filmation, a lot of their productions, because they weren't like a huge company like a Hanna-Barbera. They they had their small collection of cast. I mean, Lou Scheimer did a lot of the voices as well, and I guess he didn't do voices with the rest of the cast because he was kind of embarrassed for himself because he's like, these guys are professionals and I'm just kind of doing it for fun.
He was a
Yeah.
fan.
Yeah, he was.
He was
Because
a
you
fan.
really got to give it out to the actors doing the voice acting. It's a lot more difficult than you would really think.
Oh, heck
Yeah,
yeah.
it's not just
it's not
reading
just
a piece
sitting
of
in a
paper.
room.
Well,
I'm going
absolutely.
to sit in a room and just read off a script.
Well, there's a difference
there's
between-
so much more acting
There's
that
a
you
difference.
have to do
There's a
because
difference
you're not
between
being
an
seen,
actor, doing a voice like in a Pixar film, like Alec Baldwin doing Boss Baby,
Right,
as opposed to
they're paid for their voice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
as opposed to like a Rob Paulson or Maurice LaMarche or a Tara Strong, who they'll do like several characters in one production. It's like, and you realize, holy mackerel, that's Maurice LaMarche doing all those voices.
Now-
Yeah, they're
Tara
not.
Strong doing all
I'm
those
pretty
voices.
sure they're
Maurice,
not
he's
getting paid
now-
per voice. I think they're getting paid as in general contract.
Like
I think
Maurice
so,
even
yeah.
moves
A
over
amount.
to My Children because now I was watching Frozen with my daughter the other
Yeah.
day and I realized, wait, Maurice is the father. Anna and Elsa's father is Maurice.
Exactly.
Maurice LaMarche. I was like, I heard it and now I can't unhear it. So
It's time for
like,
another
great.
good idea,
Now
bad
I'm
idea.
watching Frozen with my daughters and all I can think of is green frozen
Yeah.
penises.
It's time for another good idea, bad idea. Good idea, playing the flute in your school band. Bad idea, playing with yourself in the school band. The end.
Even worse idea, playing with your skin flute in the school band.
I think that was what I was getting at.
Oh.
Wah, wah, wah.
Okay.
Innuendo.
Innuendo out
Nothing
the other.
subtle there. But yeah, I mean, one of the things that I appreciated out of the original series that they did, but how many episodes did they did? They did a ton.
They did
The
65 episodes.
The other thing I noticed from the documentary is they also did rotoscope for some
Yeah.
of the actors. They had
Really?
actors on the because there's a lot of the stuff like the some of the shot they used a lot of He-Man laughing
when
the running shots
Yes.
and that was one of Disney's dirty little secrets is they used rotoscope too, even though they didn't
Disney
want
used,
to.
like if you watch like Snow White,
Yep.
that's completely rotoscope.
The one
A
that
lot of
actually
Cinderella.
created, the one that actually created was Max Fleischer with the Superman cartoons from the 40s.
Yes.
He was the one who actually
That's
first
right.
started using rotoscope. That's why the Superman cartoons had a more realistic cartoon than look.
Whatever
They-
happened to those actual
Disney
films?
Did, yeah, that
Oh, they're
actually-
still around.
they're still
I would
around.
love to actually see like.
Oh, you can stream them. You can stream them on.
Really?
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah,
I
you
want
can,
I want to go back and see like how Snow White was
You
done
know,
with
speaking
the
of
rotoscoping.
Snow White, actually,
Oh, okay. You
speaking
probably
about
could
Snow
find that
White
out too.
Is I actually watched a documentary about Vampira. It was called Vampire on Me in Me. Really interesting documentary about this woman who was a horror hostess back in the 50s. The original Elvira.
That's right.
essentially.
She's sued Elvira.
She
too.
sued Elvira and lost.
She was friends with Dana Gould.
Yeah, and so
and
that was
I
where
think-
the
didn't he-
documentary.
didn't he
came-
produce
yeah,
that?
was the
Yeah.
documentary. And one of the interesting facts was that she actually went into Disney to do photography for them to inspire Maleficent.
Really?
Really, that's
So
pretty
they-
cool.
they
The
don't
original,
have any photos.
The original cartoon Maleficent.
The original cartoon
that's
Maleficent.
cool.
She came in and they used her as a base for Maleficent.
That's pretty cool.
But
That is pretty cool.
on the documentary, I have the Power. They actually have shots of the actors who played, He-Man, and them, of course, tracing over them.
Were they like big muscle-bound guys
Yeah.
actually standing there
Actually,
raising a fake sword?
Yes.
Really?
It's like this feel of like the old some of the Ralph Bakshi cartoons from the 70s, like Fire and Ice, where they would do a lot of rotoscoping for that one. So it has that kind of feel. Looking back at a lot of the old He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, it does have a little bit of that feel to that. The rotoscoping. You can kind of notice the movement a little bit. But Filmation was also famous because we had like a stockpile of stock footage where they'd use the same scene over and over again. You'd see a scene from a certain episode, like He-Man punching, He-Man running, the He-Man laugh.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah, it would be the same rotated
And
shots.
this
You
was
just
sort
use
of to keep animation in the animation work in the United States.
Okay.
So there was
Also to keep
there was
it
a good
cheap.
part.
Yeah, very Roger
that too, yeah.
Corman-esque mentality.
Yeah. Exactly.
You need to keep it
cheap.
Again,
Cheap.
think about
No,
it. You're
exactly.
dealing with kids. You're doing a show for kids. Kids are very easy to. You just use the same assets over and over and over
Right.
again. If you have to create a new asset, you create an asset that you can use in other products.
Well, actually,
speaking of-
yeah, because what I've
speaking of
noticed
assets-
is that you don't really need, as long as the story itself is continuing, that's really all the kids care about.
And speaking of
Exactly.
assets, there were a lot of butt shots in that show.
well,
You
yeah.
noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, why I loved Evil Lynn.
Or Tila.
Well, hey,
Well, even He-Man had a lot of like fanny shots. He's like, and I think that made me giggle as a kid because he's like, bum.
well, I mean, there was also another thing about the show which actually had like the just similar like to the GI Joe.
Yes.
The GI Joe, like the moral of the story kind of lesson.
Right.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
And they would do that.
Yeah.
In this episode-
Prince Adam would be standing at the end of the episode and be like, "Haha, that was a great episode. What did we learn today?"
In this episode, if Orko hadn't been a douchebag, he wouldn't have pissed off Man-at-Arms. That's right, He-Man. I didn't mean to. But I'm a douche.
In this episode, Skeletor got upset because Beastman kept on shaving with his razor.
Stop being a boob. I said boob.
Keep clogging up the bathroom.
Stop doing that!
You son
Clean
of a
up
bitch.
after your shower. Damn it.
I don't even need a razor. I'm a talking skull.
I like
Yeah, see, yeah.
we all join in with.
Yeah, you boob.
Actually, it's funny because it's like Skeletor is not, like I said, he's not like the normal villain where you'd have like the deep voice and all that. And it kind of started a trend because you see like Cobra Commander was another one where
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
He
yeah.
taught that
Cobra
high
Command.
pitched.
That high-pitched voice, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it also, if you think about pointing out G.I. Joe, was the fact that Cobra Commander was almost created to be like a psycho. And
Yeah.
the underlings below him are the ones like, why do we have to deal with this guy?
Well, it's funny you mention that because talking with one of the guys who had written for G.I. Joe, he had said that a lot of the times, even with Transformers, they had that was that kind of their mentality. They have the one normal guy and they have the one guy who was completely insane. So you had Destro, who was kind of the
normal guy, the one who always kept
the nuts and
everything-
bolts guy, and then you have
Yes.
Cobra Commando, who's like completely out of his friggin' mind.
is a complete moron.
Shut up, Destro. What do you know? I saw you with the Baroness. That was disgusting.
She likes the chrome dome. What can I say?
I could say blah.
I'm just gonna go and get my turtle wax in my head again.
Oh, you do that.
She can suck the chrome off of my head.
Yes. Oh, I'm a bad boy.
Well,
But I mean, that started with Skeletor. I mean, Skeletor was the first. You had a nasal, whiny villain, but I mean, it worked for the.
But if we think of like Skeletor being like a nasally, whiny sounding kind of guy, if we take that and flip it in a certain way, we go. If we look at the Masters of the Universe movie, he didn't have a high pitched like.
no.
He didn't have. He actually had a cooler, more threatening
Frank
style.
Langella was the
Frank
voice.
Langella.
Frank Langella.
I'm going to
yes.
say this about. Now, of course, we'll talk about the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But the one thing I got to say about Frank Langella is that he doesn't care. He didn't care what the script was at all. but he was going to give everything he could.
He put
And he
in
did.
effort.
And
Yeah,
he did.
He did.
He was like, I'm going to be 100% actor. And
Well,
when
this is
he's
a guy-
acting on screen.
This is a guy who was a stage actor. He acted in Edward Gorey's stage play Dracula. He acted in Sherlock Holmes. This was a guy who, and he was like the perfect actor if somebody was covered in makeup, because a stage actor or a radio actor or a voice actor
Once
is going
they
to
put
project.
on,
yeah,
once
it's
they
going to
put
project
on
their
the
voice.
makeup, once they put the makeup on, they start. I am that character.
But they had the
Yeah.
voice for it too.
Right.
I
They
mean-
know how to project.
I
And-
think,
but
I think
again,
he was
he didn't-
brilliant in that film.
He was, and he didn't have that.
No.
But he's talking
But-
about like live action movie compared to a cartoon for kids too.
Sure.
But
Yeah,
here's
yeah.
also another interesting point is the fact that you watch his acting. He is so into it. He's so strong.
Yeah.
You see other actors who are in it, and they're like, "You're phoning it in," or "Yeah, you're doing an okay
also-
job." I
Well, for him-
not anything against John Cipher. He was the one who played Man at Arms in the movie.
Oh, yeah,
but
John Cipher.
I feel like he phoned that in.
Yeah.
Whereas Frank Langella was like, "This is a really crappy movie.
Well,
I'm gonna still act the shit out of this
There's
movie."
a second part of that because apparently his son was a huge He-Man Masters of the
Yes.
Universe fan, so he was doing this for his son.
he's doing it for his
and
son.
Oh, that's
apparently
sweet.
during the premiere of it, with his son was just fell asleep during the movie.
Oh, man. That sucks.
Yeah, but still, I mean, he was a great Dracula, great Sherlock Holmes. So it's like
Well-
and he was also 40 at the time, so he was
Yeah.
at
Yeah,
the
but
prime. He was in his prime too.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: he was what the epitome of an actor is.
Yeah.
I don't care what the role is. I'm gonna make this my role.
That's a
Well-
good actor, though.
Well, the thing also about the movie itself is like, and I'll be honest about this. It came out right at when He-Man was starting to decline in popularity.
Sure.
Oh, it had a long,
Yep.
it had a
And
long decline at that
Unfortunately,
point.
that was
There was no
probably
more sales of.
No,
any
everything was
action
on clearance.
figures. Yep.
Yep.
all the He-Man
99
toys
cents.
were
For
out.
all the times we
yeah.
bitched that we couldn't afford it.
Yeah.
They were all in the 99-cent bin. All the
And
people
we
that
didn't
bought
really
the
care
toys
anymore.
aged out. And before the movie came out, there was also She-Ra,
Yep.
She-Ra.
Well, actually,
Princess
at
of
that,
Power.
there was that
Princess,
point,
yep.
right? People forget that there was actually an animated movie, He-Man and She-Ra: Secret of the Sword.
Yep.
Which was the was an introduction to it.
When
but
did
it,
that come out?
1985. So it was at the point where I wasn't
Yeah.
really into it, but
Oh, okay.
It was She-Ra, and I'll be honest with you, I think She-Ra is a great show, but it was an answer to try to well, how can we get more money? And so they created She-Ra to reach out to the female.
That's kind of
well, at that
toy
point
consumer.
too,
Sure.
there were a lot of girls who were also into Masters of the Universe. I mean, you had
Yes.
figures like Evelyn and
Yep.
Tila, and you kind of had a feeling that they were still trying to, as much as they were trying to get the boys to buy the figures. Here's the one for the
My wife
Yeah.
actually had the slime machine, and she would tell.
Really?
She tells people, this is funny. I gotta tell this story. She's probably gonna kill me, Finn.
Yeah.
She actually she used to take her Barbies and have the slime collapse on the Barbies and all the slime.
That's
get in
awesome.
Her hair and everything else. My wife is a very special person. I love her very much. But yeah, so she had those toys too. And when She-Ra came out, I remember when She-Ra came out. I watched it. I thought it was a great show. I know people sometimes look at it, it's when He-Man started really getting bad, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I think She-Ra's great. I thought
I have a-
Hordak was the main antagonist in that
Well, I
movie.
think Hordak was kind of a carryover because
Yeah.
they started Hordak right as He-Man and the Masters of the Universe were becoming less popular as a character,
Yeah.
and they kind of carried him over as a She-Ra villain, and
Yeah.
that was
Which
that
makes
was actually
sense.
a good
Why-
idea.
Why not?
Yeah.
Why create a whole new character?
So you already have a bad guy. You already have a bunch of action figures. There's lots of crossplay involved in that.
Right.
And I think She-Ra is a good show. If you want to check them both out, take a look at them. But that led us into obviously the canon movie.
Yep, because like I said, that was around the time '85. I think I stopped really getting into Masters of the Universe. That was around Transformers and GI Joe. I was starting to get into.
Glolan Globus.
Yep.
Yes.
Gosh.
The canon.
How many
the
more
canon
times are
group.
we going to talk about those guys here?
I know.
They owned the 80s.
They
man.
owned
They
the
really
80s.
did.
Like all of our childhood.
Dude,
Pretty much.
They encapsulated everything. I mean, what other studio are you going to do a Masters of the Universe movie other than them? Because they could have freaking Chuck Norris shoot a guy with a missile launcher.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I remember seeing it in the theater. I remember I was maybe about 13, 14 years old, and when that movie came out, we went to see it at Showcase North in downtown Worcester when it was still around, And that was like
Showcase North, where you had to go to the parking lot. And
yeah.
Yeah,
You had to walk through the ghetto.
It was a big deal to go to Showcase North.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
I loved it.
And I don't even really recall the movie theater having a lot of people in it.
Really?
But I remember me and my sister and my dad, we went to see it, and I thought it was a great film. And you know what? I recently watched it because you can see it free on
Yep,
YouTube
Tubi.
now.
YouTube, yep,
On
or
YouTube,
Tubi,
Tubi,
yep.
wherever it is now. And it really, to tell you the truth, I think is one of their best movies, but it also was what really kind of killed Cannon films, too.
I think what didn't work for it, and it's a funny thing to say because it's like they actually talked about it in the documentary too. Is what people said it kind of deviated from He-Man.
Yeah.
And I think I think it's one of those things. It's like, well, the Marvel films kind of deviate from the original, from a lot of the original stories. It's like yes and no, because they have to do some of their deviations to fit into a certain
Kinda has to
continuity.
evolve, right.
But it still has the feel and the spirit of
The actual
the actual Marvel stories, whereas the Masters of the Universe has the doesn't feel quite like the Masters of the Universe. And what's interesting is I actually read an article on this today that the person who was directing it was actually inspired by Jack Kirby's Fourth World for DC Comics. So there was a lot of like Darkseid and those sort of things infused into this Masters of the Universe, into the Masters of the Universe movie.
Well,
And-
for those who aren't familiar, the storyline that people see on the screen was they went to Earth.
Yes,
Correct.
And the thing about that is that Canon really wanted to go as cheap as they possibly could, because if they were doing a Masters of the Universe movie as appropriate to Masters of the Universe,
The entire movie
Well,
would
they
be
would have
all
to
Masters
spend-
of the Universe. They
You'd
talk
have
about
to
Well, no,
spend
they'd have to
millions.
spend money on sets,
Exactly.
and all that
for
stuff.
otherworldly
well,
environments.
originally they
and
were going to have
stuff like that,
She-Ra in the movie.
yep, they were.
And they had a really great costume for her.
Yeah, I bet they would.
But they said, "Oh, we already got one strong female in with Tila." It's like, well, you can't have two.
Now,
Well,
wasn't Tila,
geez.
the actress in the... just to make
Woman
our-
at Arms.
woman
Yeah,
at
woman
arms.
at arms. She was in The Last Boy Scout. She was the wife in The Last Boy Scout.
Really?
You remember
Was.
that? You remember that Bruce Willis movie?
Yes,
I
I
do
remember
remember
Bruce
with
Willis.
Damon
That
Wayans.
With Damon
Well,
Wayans.
they had a lot
that
of-
one-off action movie that was so badass.
I
was such a
remember
great movie.
I remember that
The
movie.
Last Cub Scout.
But she was but she played the
wife.
the wife in that. Yeah.
Wow, I never knew that.
I still enjoy Masters of the Universe simply because it has Lubick, the cop.
Yes,
Nobody takes pot shots at Lubick.
he was one of those actors who seemed to have been in everything in the '80s, wasn't he?
Yeah,
he was
yeah.
like the little bald guy who, it's like
He was Strickland in the Back to the Future
Strickland,
series.
yes, yes.
But I mean, guys like him, they were career actors.
Yep,
There
exactly.
were actors who either directors or actors who were paying for the movies really liked. Like Clint Eastwood, he had his crew of people that he always used in every one of his movies.
Kevin Smith.
Kevin
Yep.
Smith,
Yep.
John Wayne, all these people. They always
Well, that
worked
was
with the
like
same
Tim
crew
Burton.
because one,
Tim Burton has.
they
Alfred
knew who you
Hitchcock,
work with.
Hammer Horror.
They didn't have to relearn how to work with these people
Right.
anymore.
Well, I think that's what it is when they come down to it. When you see Tim Burton work with Helena Bonham Carter so many times,
Oh, God, yeah.
why would
Yeah.
you think? Well, probably because they have a syncopatic rhythm that
Yeah.
they can
And that
understand each
that
other
he's
without
boinking
even.
her.
Well, let's
does
get
help.
beyond that.
Yeah.
That does help. But also being an artist and a director to be able to have that type of communication where you don't really have to talk much and just look at someone and they'll be able to understand what you want from them.
Well, let's not forget there's also Billy Barty in the movie.
Billy
Oh,
Barty
Billy Barty.
is awesome.
One of classic. He's one of the classic actors, character actors of all time. He plays Wildor in the film, and of course the whole film, like it's just you have Meg Foster as Evelyn.
Yep.
Her eyes.
oh
Dude,
my God.
Yeah.
she
I
was
had
perfect
such
casting.
a crush
She was-
on her. She was
yes,
perfect for it.
She was
Absolutely
perfect for that role.
She was perfect for that
indeed,
role.
because
Yes.
her eyes, without any type of contacts or makeup, her eyes alone portrayed that type of Evelyn.
That
you know?
coldness inside.
Yeah.
of her.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
there was one villain in it, and I think it was one of the costume or set designers was talking about that they killed off earlier in the movie, and it's like, it's like, why did they kill off him? He was such a cool-looking character. Why couldn't they have killed off Karg or something? Whatever the name of the character was.
Yeah, I think Karg, and they had Blade.
Yep, Blade.
Blade.
Who was actually I guess the guy was actually a swordsman who actually taught Dolph Lundgren to.
Wield
Well-
the sword.
The other, you also had Courtney Cox.
Oh
Yep.
yes. Now I don't recall his name, but it was the actor who played Tom Paris in the Voyager, Star Trek Voyager series.
Oh,
He plays her boyfriend.
him.
Oh, that.
Oh,
right, okay.
The pilot of the ship for Voyager.
Yep. Right.
Yes,
Helmsman.
you're right. Yes.
He was in that, and it really, I'll tell you the truth. This was a movie that really sunk canon because they had invested all their money into.
They were
this.
trying to make it the Star Wars of the late '80s, and it just didn't. It didn't work for Masters of
I
the
think they
Universe.
were
the scene
also-
where they're all trying to go down Main Street USA, and they're firing off lasers everywhere.
Oh my God! It's like there's like no one around,
And there's no one there. There's no one to be scared of.
there's
So it's
like no running around. There's
Where's
no
the
like,
threat?
oh my God! There's crazy things going on.
Where nowadays is a cheap company would like put like CGI people in doing.
Now the other thing too, obviously, is
Wilhelm
that
scream.
Global Globus also had the right to make Superman 4.
That's
And they
right.
took money from Superman 4's budget to put into Masters of the Universe.
See, I think
And it
also,
shows.
but I think also what they were trying to do was revitalize the game system or the toys as well.
Yes.
Yes,
Because I
that's
think
right.
they were trying to pull a George Lucas and saying, listen, if we can make this money and people start going back into it, we're going to get a percentage from this.
I think that's
and
how they
that
got
unfortunately
Mattel.
that never materialized.
I think
They
that's how they got
also-
Mattel because they said, well, we're not going to use the characters because we can create some new characters and then there'll be new toys. And Mattel's like, oh, that's a really good idea. Why don't we go with that?
The other thing
it all
too,
comes down to money. Yeah, exactly.
just
Bingo.
like Global Globus does, they were planning on making a sequel. They were going to make a sequel.
Yeah, because at the end of it, Skeletor's like, I'll be back.
Yep. No, that didn't happen. And the sequel
wasn't there.
Which is funny because when I was watching it recently, he goes, I'll be back. And I was like, no, you won't.
No, you're not.
Good try, Schwarzenegger.
There was actually they actually had the sets, and just like Global Globus, they repurposed it for another movie, Cyborg.
Oh,
Which was by Jean-Claude Van
Jean-Claude
Damme.
Van Damme, yes.
That movie was
All the sets.
so awful.
Yeah, it's Global Globus.
I
We
don't
make
remember.
schlock in art form.
I don't remember a lot of that movie, but there's one scene, it's, I'd say like 10, 15 minutes into the movie. You see Jean-Claude Van Damme going through this like retrospective memory piece, and he's just sitting there sharpening his blade back and forth, back and forth. And it's 5 minutes of this crappy music with him back and forth, back, until eventually they get to the reason he's going nuts with this blade, and just like, you couldn't have sped that up? What was all this with the blade shit?
Global Globus.
No, there's another problem with that movie that I noticed last night as I watched
Cyborg
it again
or
on
Master
YouTube.
of the Universe?
Master of the Universe.
Okay.
Sorry. Was editing.
Oh,
I noticed
yeah.
that editing was just so horrible in that movie.
Horrible,
Like,
yes.
like you'd go to see He-Man, Dolph Lundgren, go to attack somebody by lifting his hand up, and then in the next shot, his arm is just like kind of just on the guy.
Yeah.
There's no. The editing was bad.
There
Much
was
like-
one. There was one little trick they did that I actually did like. There was that scene where he's trying to figure out the key, like the theme to the.
the
It's like
thing.
da. This thing's
Oh,
really bothering
gosh,
me.
yeah.
Musical
And
notes.
Tila just shoots out the speaker that's playing the music, and I just thought that's kind of clever.
Yeah.
That's the only clever thing you're gonna do in this movie, isn't it? Yes,
Well,
it
it's
is.
funny because I do have a lot of friends who are Masters of the Universe fans who they have a soft spot for the movie.
Yeah.
They know it's a schlocky
I mean, I
movie,
kind
but
of do.
yeah.
I kind of have a soft spot because it's one of those bad movies that is just.
You
so
just have a
good.
soft
Yeah.
spot for
You
Meg
know?
Foster,
Yeah, it's a
don't
bad
you?
movie that's become good.
It's
For
so
me,
bad,
always
it's,
Meg
it's
Foster.
So bad.
It's totally.
It's like,
so-
hey, let's watch this movie. This movie is 20 minutes long because you always fast forward to Evil Lynn, and then you fast forward to Evil Lynn, and then you fast forward to Evil Lynn. I don't want to watch a 20-minute movie.
Same as like They Live. You just watch a little part till you get to Meg Foster. then you get to that fight between Keith David and
the 20
Oh
minute
my
fight.
God,
Piper.
Rowdy,
and then you go back
Roddy
to Meg
Piper.
Foster, and then the movie's over.
That
enough.
was one of the most over-the-top
12-minute
fights.
fight.
Yes, unnecessary.
Was that another Global Globus production?
Was it? I don't know.
No, that was
But,
John Carpenter.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. So it was
John-
actually
yeah,
it was
John
actually
Carpenter.
somebody that was good and had talent. Okay.
So
After Masters of the movie, that wasn't really the end for He-Man, though.
No,
I mean,
it
it was like I think at one point they did do a New Adventures of He-Man in the late 80s, early 90s, where it's like
Yeah.
He-Man in space,
Yep, they did.
and it was really bad.
in space.
Because I think they had like a lot of they had a lot of like Korean artists and anime. It was very anime inspired, so it had that look to the series.
okay.
And it's like the toys. It's like at that point I was
like a Battleship Yamada kind of look on it, or
not as good, not
Oh,
nearly
as
as
yeah,
good.
'cause That's some good stuff.
But I mean, they didn't have any of the original cast. They just tried to do something different with this, and it was just too soon. It was one of these things.
Yeah.
It was too soon after the
Band-Aid was ripped off.
exactly. And the funny thing is, shortly after that, Lou Scheimer actually tried to revive He-Man once more, and he actually wrote out a whole pitch and proposal for Hero, son of He-Man.
What?
Yes.
Wow.
I kid you not. And he had the whole thing
Please,
written.
can you be kidding me?
I kid you not.
I actually kind of want to read that now.
You'll go online. It's available. The whole Bible of it is available. It's like basically He-Man and Teela have a son, and he becomes the new He-Man.
Hero.
Or I think it was one of these things that it is like.
Or maybe it was called Heela because it's He-Man and Teela. Heela.
No, it's Hero.
That's
I'm
horrible.
sorry.
That's
but
that was so bad.
But it's one of the things. Apparently, it was one of these things. He-Man and Teela get married. They become the king and queen, and they have an adopted son who is like kind of like Jungle Book sort of thing, where he's from the
Mowgli
forest, and
thing?
they bring him up, and apparently he's like the heir of the original He-Man or whatever the original.
Wait,
I don't.
hold on. What?
Exactly. See how convoluted it
That
gets?
is so convoluted.
But this kid somehow becomes the new He-Man, let's just say, and he becomes Hero.
Hero.
But then that begs the question: was He-Man chosen, or is He-Man born into it?
That is a good question. It was something they never really brought up in the series. It
He
was.
put his resume up on Indeed,
I thought he had it up on.
and he had like to
I
fill
thought he
out
had it
some
up
of
on
those
LinkedIn.
prerequisite. He had to go through those tests, like do you have the power?
I might.
I might. How much experience do you have with the power?
If you had the power, what would you do with it?
That's a good question. Let me think about that. But no, you could see why that never really picked up. However, in the new Netflix series, they are bringing in a character called Hero, who's going to be voiced by Phil Lamar.
I was just
who
going to
is-
ask you who's doing voices? Phil Lamar.
Phil Lamar is doing Hero. This actor Chris Wood, he's been in a few things. He he played this character Monel in the new Supergirl series.
Oh, the one with Melissa Benoist.
Yes, that's the one.
Okay,
He
yeah.
was in that, and there's a few other ones. Jason Mewes is, of course, in it. He plays
Nice.
Stinkor.
I
mean,
he
nice.
plays Stinkor. Come on.
Kevin Smith's daughter, Harley Quinn Smith, is in this.
Yes,
which-
she's actually a really good actress. So.
Yeah.
Get out! He actually named his daughter Harley Quinn.
Yes.
That is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
hysterical.
That's
Honestly,
ballsy.
Have you seen Yoga Hosers?
Yes, I've seen Yoga Hosers.
Yeah, that's his daughter and Johnny Depp's daughter.
and Johnny Depp's daughter. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I know some people say, "Oh, you're putting your friend and your daughter in your production." It's like, why not? If I was doing a production, I'd put my buddies in it. I'd put my family in
Right.
it.
Well, you put people that you first of all would trust.
Exactly.
To
do a
and
good part,
obviously,
right?
if he's
Yeah.
gonna, if he's going to trust his daughter to do that
Yep.
part, then and obviously, as we see in the movie, she did great.
Yeah.
You know, so
I'm just gonna create my own like super action figure and call it He Guy.
Yeah. He dude.
He guy.
Hey, dude.
He guy. He dude.
I'm Prince Randy.
And I might have the power.
I'm
Some-
Prince Gerald.
But I mean, yeah. Honestly, the voice cast. Like I said, the voice cast looked great. I ended up seeing the.
Phil Lamar is.
Oh, he's
Phil Lamar's
fantastic.
He's
amazing.
fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
He's one of these
gonna be
guys.
in
I
it.
never knew he was originally in Pulp Fiction. He played
Yep.
Marvin.
Yep.
Yeah,
he
he was
played
the
the
guy
guy
that
who
got
gets
his
his head
head
blown
shot off.
off.
Yeah.
But no, he's
Totally
done,
by accident.
He's done
Oops.
so many great voice acting roles. I mean, he was
Exactly,
originally
yep.
he was Futurama. He was John Stewart in Green Lantern in the Justice League cartoon.
He was on Mad TV.
Yep, he was on Mad TV. He's been on.
that
Family-
was my first introduction to Phil Lamar was Mad TV.
Yep.
Yep.
Ollie Williams on Family Guy.
Yep.
Yes. Yes.
But he's done everything, and he also did Black Vulcan and Harvey Birdman. His tagline was
Birdman.
pure electricity in my pants. And that, I think it's like the greatest line ever said. Old One Eye in his pants.
In his pants.
All right, so we're gonna go into the.
So now we're going to go into a fun little game show that we've
Yes.
started here.
Do we have any
Basically-
music for that going into it?
Wasn't that awesome?
I love this game.
Fantastic.
Okay.
Wow,
So
I love
basically,
it. It's
what we're
great.
going to do here, guys, is we're going to do a version of audio tic-tac-toe. Since it's going to be the best thing that we can do for a podcast to do a game show is we're going to play tic-tac-toe with our two contestants here. And what they're going to do is they're going to be given a spin at the random wheel, and they're going to give it a number. And here are our categories for random movie quotes. We have number 1, action-adventure movies. Number 2, comedy. 3, drama. 4, fantasy sci-fi. 5, horror. 6, mystery movies. 7, romance. 8, thriller. And 9 is going to be the dreaded western. Let's see how you guys
Is this
do
where
in
Gene
westerns.
Rayburn like introduces himself to the guest and tries to tongue her?
Well, I was going to say it could be that.
I thought that was Richard
It's
Dawson.
going to be Richard Dawson.
Oh,
when I come
yeah,
over and
that's right.
I'm going to
boy.
give everybody a big sloppy kiss.
Yeah, but you gotta talk with like a British accent.
Yes.
when you're doing it.
He's like,
So what we're going to do here is we're going to play tic-tac-toe, but in order to win the square, you're going to have to spin for a spot, and it's going to give you a different audio clue from one of these categories. So what we're going to do now is we're going to spin a random category just to see who. Oh my God, phone fucking went off.
technical difficulties, ladies
Turn
and
the
gentlemen.
phone back on. All right. So we're going to do a random. Wayne and I. Wayne's going to be the sound guy for tonight, and what we're going to do is we're going to go for a random toss-up here. So Wayne, let's look for a category for the random toss-up. Now both of you guys get a chance to answer this question. Whoever answers it first will be able to go first in the tic-tac-toe.
Kind of like
So-
coin cost.
I'm going to spin right now and see what number we get for a category. And we get number 2, which is comedy. So, Wayne, can you go in and give us a clue for our comedy?
Why, yes, I can. Let's see here. I'm gonna play this clip right here for you.
Damn, Chin. Some greasy shit. You ain't got no better food like some
Answer
chicken
right away.
wings,
Rush
some
hour
baby
2.
back ribs, some fries or something?
Wow.
I'm sorry. Brett, do you think you get the answer?
Oh. Oh, gosh.
And if you want to... Now, Andy is out on this.
Oh,
yes,
darn it.
because he made a mistake.
Is it Fridays?
No? No. Let's play it. Play it one more time
Play
for
one
Brett.
more time, okay?
Damn, Chin. Some greasy shit. You ain't got no better food like some chicken wings, some baby back ribs, some fries or something?
Oh.
Let's just say Andy was really close.
Rush Hour.
Very close.
Rush Hour 1?
Rush Hour 1.
Or just simply labeled Rush
Rush
Hour.
Hour.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's in a series now. Come on.
Yeah, they all kind of, all three of those
They
movies kind
blend.
of mashed
Yeah.
together.
They blend. All right, so that means that Brett gets to go first.
Yay.
So let's go ahead and have
Yay,
you spin
Brett.
for a category and see if we can find ourselves. See the little button
Break the
there?
deal,
It says
spin a wheel.
It's right in the
Center.
middle.
In the
Right
middle.
center.
No.
No,
On the bottom.
On the bottom.
There you
Center.
go. The little button.
There
There you go.
Okay.
Thanks.
Again,
Brett
that's
just
right.
That's the
went,
red
and
wire.
it's number 5. So Brett,
Horror.
your category is horror. So
boy.
Wayne, give us a clue for horror.
Here we go.
He doesn't want us to cut through our chains. He wants us to cut through our feet.
Brett,
I don't know this one. I'm sorry.
you don't know this one?
I know this one. It was a while ago this movie was made.
2004?
About that.
Okay.
Can we come in for the steal?
Now,
Yes, that's
Go
what we're
for
going
it.
to do for this plan. Is going if we're not going to do a timer right now because we're keeping this
yeah,
open.
we're just trying to figure this out.
Right. But yes,
the
the
pilot
idea
episode.
is that if the person who gets the role doesn't answer the question, the other person has the ability
So
to
let's
steal.
go ahead and play that clue one more time, Wayne.
Hit it, Johnny.
He doesn't want us to cut through our chains. He wants us to cut through our feet.
Saw.
Oh,
Yes, very
ding,
good.
All right,
I
so
wanna play a game.
which
It's called
since you
tic-tac-toe.
are the first one here, which spot on the board are you going to go for?
I'm going
1
with
through 9.
Center square number 5.
Center square number 5. You, since you're first one, you get the poop emoji.
Yay!
Nice.
I'm the poop emoji.
So if we look over here on the categories, we have the poop emoji,
It's very appropriate.
which is going to be Andy. All right, and then we have the middle finger emoji.
Also
That
very
does
appropriate.
not
Which
look
is
like a middle
Brett.
finger.
It's Mickey if he had a middle finger.
No, it looks like something else.
Screw you!
Well, here, what if we put little stink lines about the poop?
No, I wasn't talking
I
about
need
the
a
poop
smiley
emoji.
face
So
on
as
that
you
poop
see,
emoji.
we have ourselves a grid here for our tic-tac-toe, 1 through 9, sequentially. And
right.
it looks like that Andy has chosen the center square, number
ultimate
5. So if we look on if everybody's playing at home and they make themselves out a tic-tac-toe board, you will see that Andy is number 5 in the center as the poop emoji.
Yep.
All right, fantastic.
Okay. So do I spin now?
That means
Yes,
that
you do.
Andy gets to go for a spin, and let's see what you get. Spin the wheel.
Let's take a spin.
We go. Again, not.
Push the
rocket
fucking button.
science.
Okay, so now we get 7. 7 is romance. All right, Wayne, give us a romance movie.
Here we go.
You want the moon? Just say the word and I'll throw a lasso around it and pull it down.
Oh boy. Oh my God, I'm pulling a blank now.
That's the best part of this game. You always pull a blank.
Giggity.
And since
Wait, I know this. Come on, damn it, brain, start working.
ooh, I hear some distorted guitar in the background,
3,
which makes it
2, 1. You
Oh my
lose.
God, I can't believe I messed up on that one. Come on.
You ready? You ready for it? It's
Wait, no, whoa,
No,
whoa,
you
whoa.
gotta let him
Brett
try.
has a chance for it.
Brett has
Brett has a chance for
I
it.
have no clue.
Okay.
Brett has no clue as
Brett
well.
gives up his chance.
Really? Well, guys, it's
A
Wonderful Life.
I've never seen that film.
Just,
All right.
I have seen
I
that
as
movie
well
a million
have never. I
times.
mean, I've seen enough clips to put the movie together,
wanna
but
live.
I've never
All
seen
right,
the
well,
whole
that-
thing.
Oh my
I want to
God.
live.
That's gonna give
son of a
ourselves.
bitch.
Let's gonna put ourselves in a corner where I think now Brett has earned himself a spin on the phone.
That is embarrassing right there.
Yes.
And
yeah.
Brett spins, and he gets himself a number 4, which is
Fantasy
sci-fi.
sci-fi.
All right, Wayne, give us a fantasy sci-fi.
All right, here we go. This hopefully is an easy one.
And none may pass without my permission.
Labyrinth.
Yes,
Brett
very
wins a
good.
square. Brett, which number do
Aha!
you choose?
Ha yes. I'm valiant. I smell nothing.
I have no.
Wait, hold on.
I'll get right above the poop emoji.
So Brett's gonna go for number 2.
Yep,
right
I'll
here.
go for number 2.
Number
All right.
2. All
The
right.
Middle finger, which looks like a giant distorted penis.
I tried to tell you that.
He
I
did.
know.
He
You gotta
did.
put a
Okay.
smiley face on it.
All right,
Well,
well,
testicles.
okay, Brett, you won that one. So why don't you go ahead and spin again?
Hit it again.
Brett spins, and he gets a number 1,
Number one
which is
action adventure.
Okay, Wayne, give us an action adventure movie.
All right, here we go.
You're a funny guy, Sully. I like you. That's why I'm going to kill you last.
Oh, we just did this last week.
Just
We just did this in
We
our test
did.
round. Can Brett remember our test round?
No, I
know. You,
Oh, that's terrible because
look at Andy.
Yeah, Andy's
his
like,
eyes are
"Hurry up,
crossed with
hurry up."
anger.
Hurry up.
Oh. I did it again. And
Well,
it's gonna be one of these things I'm going to be kicking myself because it's like,
Well, here's the thing. If Brett does pass this up, since we did use this in our quote-unquote test
Yeah.
round, we could toss that one out of here
And just throw another one at me.
and throw another one at Brett.
All
Okay.
right, here we go.
Just to be fair, since
Fair
we
enough.
did play that.
Fair
Brett,
enough.
here is your action-adventure movie.
I have come here to chew bubblegum.
They
and
live.
kick ass.
Fantastic.
I've come here to kick ass.
Bubblegum.
I've come here to kick ass and kick ass, and I'm all out of ass.
So Brett already has number 2. Andy is still here at number 5. Okay, so Brett, where are you going to move to?
I'll move to number 1.
Number 1, Brett gets himself up the middle finger.
Yep, he's going to number 1 where my number 2 is next to him. So.
Okay, Andy,
Okay,
Shit on the finger.
let's have you throw a spin on the wheel.
here we go.
Andy spins. What do we get?
We got a
We get
Number
an
8, which is Thriller.
All right,
thriller.
So, Wayne, throw
Yes,
us
it
a
is.
Thriller clue.
here we go.
The greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
I can see the look on Andy's face.
That's the Usual Suspects?
Yes! Very good!
Now, Andy, I think we all kind of know where you're going here, but where would you like to put your poop emoji?
I think I'm going to be very strategic here. And I believe number 3 is going to be where the poop is going to go.
Number 3 it is.
The shit's going to hit the fan.
And I'll make a little fly right here, too.
Yeah, that's a good one. Right there.
And I'll make it look like it's dying.
Oh, yeah, right there.
Another Vincent Price.
Oh, that's good. Yeah, right there. Oh, that's so good. Yeah.
So I ventured.
Okay, here we go. Spin it
So
again.
now,
Spin
Andy,
it again.
Spin it, spin it, spin it.
Spin that wheel. And we got ourselves number 6, which
Number
is
6.
mystery. Wayne,
Mystery.
do you have anything for mystery?
I believe I do. In fact,
Excellent.
I only have one thing for mystery,
Here
so I
we
got to
go.
go look for some new stuff.
Yeah.
Let's play it.
Need some material.
The stuff that dreams are made of.
The Maltese Falcon.
Very
Andy.
good.
Where are you going to go, Andy?
I am
on,
going to
together.
go number 6.
I don't think he knows where 6 is.
That's where 6 is.
You want to go there?
Actually, no. Wait. I'll go with number 7.
There you go. Okay.
Number 7, please.
Bing, bing, bing.
And ladies and gentlemen,
Remedial tic-tac-toe.
Remedial tic-tac-toe when you can't count the numbers. 1, 2, 3.
there we go. It's been a while, folks.
It's funny. I was just reading. I've been reading The Long Goodbye by Raymond Chandler, which
Did the Maltese?
no, he didn't do the Maltese Falcon. I think Dashiell Hammett. No, he Dashiell Hammett did the Maltese.
Yeah.
But what's his Bogart was also in
Sam Spade.
Yeah, he was also Philip Marlowe
Philip
in
Marlowe.
the Big Sleep. So
That was fantastic, guys. I love that.
that was great.
So we apologize, but there's for instance, mystery. It was only that one line that we had. So we're going to definitely look into getting some more material. Jamie and I are going to continue fighting as to how this is going to go, and more than likely, my
And now,
host
ladies
will
and
win, or he will die in his sleep.
No, I'm pretty amiable. All right.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen.
Excellent.
So what I chose today is I like to find scripts of stuff that wasn't made, like we did with the, like we've done with past ones. Like the first episode, we did a Batman script that was an unproduced. So I like to find these scripts of stuff that people might not be fans might be familiar with. But I got a script from Masters of the Universe from 2011, 2012, written by Nick Ramsey, which I think was I don't know if it was supposed to be a movie or an animated series at the time, but whatever it was actually a decent script compared to some of the other Masters of the Universe scripts that came out, but it was closer to a lot of the other. It was kind of closer to both the original series and the Masters of the Universe cartoon that came out in 2002. And this script actually mixes a little bit of both of them to it. It adds like an origin story to He-Man, but also it has like Skeletor's origin as well. So I mean, the Masters of the Universe cartoon actually added an origin to Skeletor.
Origin story.
Yes.
Let's find out what happens, shall we?
So I chose this one. It's just called Masters of the Universe, based on the characters by Mattel.
Does it have masters in a universe?
I believe it does. I believe there are masters, and I believe there is a universe that they inhabit.
Okay.
So there's not some dudes
So
in a galaxy.
I was figuring, Galaxy.
Lords of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Dudes in a galaxy.
Lords of the Chronos.
Dudes, where's my galaxy?
So, but tonight we were gonna have
galaxy.
So
universe. Galaxy. Universe.
So we were going to have Sydney Goddard Hurholz read the parts of Evelyn and Tila respectively.
Yes.
And I was going to actually have Wayne read the parts of like Stratos and Triclops, as well as Jamie could probably do the part of Whiplash, and I could do the part of Clawful, and you could also do Man at Arms, Jamie.
Whiplash and Man at Arms.
Yep. And Andrew, I was going to have you, of course, since you have the lower voice of us all, do the voice of He-Man.
He-Man.
And I was going to do Skeletor, because Skeletor.
I like this plan. Let's do it.
Yes.
This plan is fantastic.
So if you want to lead us in with some intro, Andrew.
Interior Castle Grayskull. He-Man runs up the stairs and spots the tiger cub. He uses the sword to transform it into the giant beast with battle armor and climbs upon it. They dash out of the castle as the sword leads the way. Exterior fields of Evermore, night. Evelyn stares at the prisoners, Man-at-Arms, Tila, Ram Man, and Stratos. They have been bound and are on their knees. Malnek and Cyclone lie wounded. Evelyn notions for Beastman and Triclops to board the ship. Triclops fires up the engine as Beastman places Kronos in the medical bay of the ship. She then begins to advise Clawful and Whiplash further.
Once we are out of sight, kill them.
With pleasure.
Exterior fields, night. Evelyn boards the ship and takes off. Whiplash smiles and cracks his knuckles. Exterior fields, night. He-Man and his Battle Cat charge towards them.
What the?
Exterior Battle Cat charges on into Clawful and sends him flying through the air. He-Man grabs Whiplash by the throat and picks him straight up. He stares straight into the eyes as he gently squeezes his throat. Where did your friends go?
I'll never tell you.
I'll ask you one more time, and then I'll dig your grave with your own skull. Exterior Whiplash is terrified and shakes all over. He-Man's strength is unmatchable, and Whiplash cannot escape his clutches. Tila looks over at the Man-of-Arms.
Who is that?
I have no idea, but I believe he's on our side.
Exterior, He-Man begins to squeeze harder as his communicator lights light up. It's Evelyn.
Are they dead yet? Whiplash, answer me.
Exterior, He-Man smiles at Whiplash as he continues to squeeze his throat. Go on, tell her.
Yes, Evelyn. They're all dead.
Good. Now return to Snake Mountain at once.
Exterior, He-Man smiles now that he has the information that he wanted. He drops Whiplash and smashes his wrist radio with his sword. Whiplash runs from him as fast as he can as He-Man dismounts Battle Cat. He takes his sword and cuts the rope from the heroes.
Thank you, great warrior.
You need never thank me. Now return home and tend to your wounded. I have someplace I need to be.
You need our help. For all we know, you are with them, stranger.
Tila, that's enough.
I understand the concern. My name is He-Man, and now we are no longer strangers. I am here to protect Eternia, and I will need your help, but not yet. Exterior, Stratos and Ram Man enter the attack track, and Manic and Cyclone over their shoulders. Stratos looks back at Tila, He-Man, and Man-at-Arms.
Go with them to Snake Mountain. Use the sky sleds. I will get back home safely and rally more troops.
Thank you, Stratos.
Exterior, Tila and Man-at-Arms turn their heads to He-Man, and he looks back with a smile. Let's go. Cut to interior Snake Mountain nightfall. Evelyn, Beastman, and Whiplash enter the Dark Throne Lord of Keldor. His fingers tap impatiently against the arm of his chair. The only sound is the dripping of the stalagmite as Whiplash steps forward to say his piece.
Keldor, we're sorry. We didn't mean to.
There's no need to apologize, Whiplash. You did help me escape. Finally.
You have to understand our position. We could have freed you sooner had we had just what was possible until we met her.
Interior Evelyn smiles at Keldor, but he is augmented and stares back at Triclops.
Silence! All that matters now is what I do with my freedom. I will destroy the king and every last being in that wretched palace city. Then I will take Grayskull.
Interior Snake Mountain throne room. Keldor lifts his hand, and the Havoc Staff of Power appears from a secret chamber and flies to Keldor. The others look surprised by his power, and Evelyn is surprised that the staff was within Snake Mountain all along.
I'm not as weak as I look.
Interior Snake Mountain corridor. Keldor walks towards the passageway with his havoc staff and cape trailing behind him.
And the name's Skeletor. Yes! Yes!
Cut to exterior jungle, morning. He-Man atop Battlecat, Man-at-Arms, and Tila continue their search for Snake Mountain.
Are we going the right way, even?
I believe so. Is this wise, He-Man? There are only 3 of us.
Exterior jungle. Battlecat roars at Man-at-Arms. Man-at-Arms quickly realizes his mistake.
All right. I mean 4.
Look, up ahead.
Exterior Snake Mountain, morning. Tila points to the mountain. The black ooze drips from the misplaced rocks as a giant snakehead sculpture peers through the mist with red-eye lights. But the look on her face is without a doubt the most frightening thing she has ever seen. You've never been here, I take it.
No.
Captain, I have 20 warriors and assault tanks en route.
Good. I'm sending you our coordinates now.
It looks like we're over 40 kilometers from you. Hang tight.
Exterior Snake Mountain. He-Man climbs down from Battlecat and looks towards Man-at-Arms and Tila.
Wait here for them. I want to surprise Keldor and the others.
Absolutely not. We still don't know anything about you, and now you're barking orders at us? I am the captain of the guard, and I decide what the plan is, not you.
I will not allow our warriors to charge blindly against this fortress. Tila, please follow his instructions. I trust him.
You would.
End scene.
I'll be honest, I'd actually watch that. I mean, if they made that into a movie, I'd actually watch that.
I tried to throw in my best Patrick Warburton. I was kind of going with the whole Emperor's New Groove. Squeakers, squeakity, squeak, squeakers.
I mean, I could have thrown the Dolph Lundgren version.
No, I think that was better.
I don't want more people to die.
Yeah, it was okay. That was okay.
That's great, Dolph. All right, Greg, back to your trailer. Just hang out there. All right.
Well,
we'll call you tomorrow.
Well, I think this leads us into like the new He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, and honestly, I wondered how long it would take for a new He-Man series to come out, especially when they came out with the new She-Ra series a few years ago. And I know that one got, kind of some of the fans kind of went against it because they went in a different direction from the original series. And personally, I didn't think it looked that badly. And it was not created. And a lot of the people who were complaining that it's like, oh, it doesn't look like the way She-Ra did back then. It's like,
Get over it.
I was just like, who are you kidding?
Back then.
I was like, who are you kidding?
Right.
These were probably the same people that complained that I don't like She-Ra because it's girly.
First of all, I'm going to pull the Jay and Silent Bob strike back by saying these are fictional characters.
Exactly.
These are fictional characters. They're not real. She-Ra's not a human being. She's a cartoon.
But honestly, it's like because the way they went with it.
Puke on the floor.
But the direction they went with the new She-Ra is it looked like a lot like the artwork from like Steven Universe. It had that very cartoony feel, and I didn't mind that. And there's a lot. I have a lot of friends who are gay who really love this cartoon because it really spoke to them.
Good.
Well, the other thing,
there needs
Universe
to be
is gay?
like a hell of a lot more representation.
I did not know that.
Yeah, there's a lot of this. That's a great show.
And again, does it really even matter?
Well,
no, it doesn't.
No, it doesn't matter.
If it's
but
a good show, it's a good show.
Right, exactly.
I think one of the reactions a lot of people had was when you take a look at, say, for example, Teen Titans, which was a very popular show for fans of the Teen Titans. And for about 6 or 7 seasons, they had like this very long arc plot where they had a really well done animated show.
Yeah.
And then mid-season, at a cliffhanger, they canceled it. And then when they came back with Teen Titans Go, which ended up being like a big, huge joke, kind of show, which is more humor.
Oh, I love Teen Titans Go.
And I think Teen Titans Go
is shit.
Yeah.
I think it depends on what you're.
I've heard people complain about it online. I'm just like, oh fuck you.
I actually watch the show. I can understand the
complains.
hate towards it, but I also can actually watch it because I have kids and they love that show. 'cause
Exactly.
It's funny as hell.
So multi-generational.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, and that's where the mistake is coming in.
Yeah.
Yes, it may not look exactly like the original She-Ra.
Yeah.
Yes, it may not have the original plot like She-Ra.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it may have different characters from She-Ra. But you have to understand, what we made back then was for you. What we're making now is not for you.
And
Exactly.
I think there's a lot of
kids.
people that were complaining. It's like, oh, they're really pushing a gay agenda with She-Ra. It's like,
Oh,
no.
God.
But I'll tell you something. Yeah, Lou Scheimer's daughter, Erica Scheimer, is gay, and a lot of Filmation was very open and it was very accepting to artists who were gay back in the day, and that she said, and she was on record saying, Filmation was one of the gayest places on earth to work.
Not only that, but there's a lot of shows.
Exactly.
There are a lot of shows between She-Ra and today that came under the radar. I mean, I can think of like Xena Warrior Princess.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
As one of those shows back in the 90s that had like such.
What was that little girl that was with her?
Gabrielle.
Gabrielle. Oh my God.
But you know what?
You had the hots for her?
The thing about it
Yes.
is when they.
Oh God, yes.
Every guy had the hots for
The
her.
little redhead that was always with her.
Yeah, the one was always trying
Gabrielle.
to be
Yeah, that was her
badass and all that.
Yes.
But the thing about it is that was a show where they wrote a lot of
But I never
lot of
actually,
undertones.
Yeah, a lot of
you know what
undertones
though?
for that.
Maybe it's because I didn't really give a shit. But
Exactly.
I never really saw the whatever everyone says to be like the gay or subtle undertones that they put towards Xena. I was like, or any of these other things. I never really cared. I was
Exactly.
like, whatever.
Because you were mesmerized by Gabrielle.
That too. Yeah.
But that was the thing. I mean, that was just one of those hidden things. Now, personally, I don't get into the whole politic thing.
No.
It's product. But I think that with the new show that's coming out, obviously it hasn't hit yet.
No.
We saw a trailer and I was blown away
When
by
does
it.
when does it come out?
July 23rd, and it's one of these things. It's listed. It says it's a continuation of the previous Masters of the Universe, but it's more like a reimagined continuation where they've updated the art. It looks like it has a familiarity to the original Masters of the Universe, but it almost has like a little bit of like, I don't know if you've seen like the Castlevania animation that came out on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
But it's very similar to that. It's much more dynamic and honestly, I mean, there was a lot of stuff in the original series they just couldn't get away with because of standards and practices.
Yeah.
It's like He-Man can't use the sword. He-Man can't punch anybody. He-Man can't stab anybody. There was actually a point in the documentary Power of Grayskull.
There can't be blood. There can't be,
there was actually a complaint during Power of Grayskull where the somebody wrote in, or whatever group wrote in and says, because He-Man actually pulled a tree out of the ground and says, don't have He-Man pulling trees out of the ground because kids will emulate it. Because kids are stupid enough to do that.
I was going to pull a tree out of the ground too.
Kids are strong enough that they can pull a tree
right out of the
roots.
I don't think people realize kids aren't as stupid as they think they are. Kids,
George, our son just pulled a tree out of the ground again.
I know, right? So now I
swear to God, if he pulls out another tree, I'm really going to get upset.
So now you have a version of Masters of the Universe that it's like they can do that. You looked at the trailer. This is almost. It seems like the one that the creators of He-Man wanted to do from the get-go. You hear a lot of the guys who are working on the show or working on the movies or working on the animation, the stories they wanted to tell. He-Man punching somebody in the face. He-Man actually roughing. You see the fight scene between him and Skeletor. This is probably what not only the fans like us and fans like Kevin Smith, but also the people who wrote Masters of the Universe wanted to do.
Yeah. I mean, basically, I think obviously when you take a look at like the standards and practices of the time and now, even though it was the 80s and you had like rated R movies turned into cartoons for kids.
Oh, I know, but that was like later in the
crazy.
80s. But at that point of the 80s,
But for He-Man needed to have the gloves. They had to take the gloves off of He-Man so he could do what he was doing. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. If you got Netflix, check it out.
He-Man just needs to TCOB.
Taking care of business. Every day, He-Man's taking care of business. every way.
But just the beginning of the trailer with the sorcerer saying, saying you've tried to take Castle Grayskull and you failed, and all of a sudden you had Mark Hamill as the skeleton going, "Where's your?" I think it was like, "Where's your champion?"
Well, yes, that was the line, and I didn't know that was Mark Hamill.
It was Mark Hamill.
Oh, that's fantastic.
The other thing too is like all the characterizations are exactly what they were like when they were done in the 80s.
Yeah.
They all like to a T.
Yes.
Yeah. Which I'm sure Mark Hamill loves.
That's the other thing about
It's
Mark
funny.
Hamill.
Somebody was actually talking about, Mark Hamill. There's people that try to keep track of him during a convention because he'll just break off from his security and just
and he shows up
crowds.
in an outfit like he'll show up as a stormtrooper just so he can walk through the crowds.
He'll probably get dressed up as Skeletor at a convention.
Yeah.
Now,
because he's a guy who just loves conventions.
Nobody here looks any better than a Luke Skywalker than Brett does.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, when Brett did the Comic-Con as the Luke Skywalker from the new series,
yep,
it was dead on. He's got the whole thing going on. Now I see Brett now has shaved his beard off.
It'll come back.
It'll come back in 2 minutes.
Yeah. It's Homer Simpson hair.
It really is. It is like Homer Simpson. But
it's kind of like
Brett has
Steve Carell shaving off his beard and trying not to be Noah.
So thirsty. Milk was a bad idea.
I mean, nobody does a better Austin Powers of Dr. Evil than me, though.
Oh yeah, definitely Dr. Evil.
You got a good Dr. Evil going on.
But I mean, that Austin Powers. Jeez, that was a great costume.
That was a great costume.
Oh, with your blue crushed velvet outfit.
Yeah, I found that at Savers for $16.
Ah, beautiful.
There's a whole story for that.
That whole blue crushed velvet suit.
The whole suit.
We'll have to save that for the cosplay episode.
We have a whole bunch of stories.
That's right. We should do a cosplay episode.
Oh hell yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Perfect.
But I mean, it's like going back to it. I wondered at the point when they came out with the She-Ra series, and I give Noelle Stevenson, who created the series, props. Great. I love the character designs, and like I said, they were actually fans who, they were fans who were genuinely like people like, who just loved the original series, who wanted it to be like that. But there were also people who loved this new look to She-Ra, and at that time, I wondered if there was if they were going to do a new Masters of the Universe, if it was going to be connected to this, and sure enough, like a year or so later, suddenly Kevin Smith was announcing.
Of course, Kevin Smith.
Yeah, I mean he's like
bored.
As far as I'm concerned,
Pandemic's
if there's anybody like that's like the grandmaster of all the fanboys out there, Kevin Smith. Yeah. He's earned it. He's just this is a guy. He's just like, when I first saw his movies like Clerks and all that, I didn't realize he was a comic book fan until he started doing he did the Green Arrow series, and I was like, holy shit, this guy
just like anybody else. Do you remember seeing Clerks in college?
Yep.
It was around college time, right? And
somebody rented it on VHS.
Exactly. and seeing that movie for the first time, not even wondering about black and white or anything or how it was filmed. It was the dialogue that just snapped with me.
Well,
right
for
away.
me,
it was so smart. It was so snappy.
This is the guy who
hadn't been done in such a long time.
This is the guy who maxed out credit cards just to make this film.
Yep.
I remember.
I give him mad props for that.
Yep.
I remember actually working in a Blockbuster Video when that movie came out. So when I got this, there was so much relatable to that.
Yeah, my wife worked at a video
Starship?
store. Yeah,
Starship Video.
Around the time that what was it, Monsters Inc. came out. So she knows that movie by heart.
It's funny. I remember I worked at a Walmart next to the video section, and they had a.
That's right.
And they had I think it was like movies like Forrest Gump and Babe were playing at that time.
Oh my gosh!
It was that long ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
There's
it was
that one
long
sequence
ago.
in Clerks where they have the people asking stupid questions.
Yes.
That's.
Do you have this movie?
Do you have any new movies? New movies all around them.
Yeah.
Do you have that movie with that guy that does that thing in that place? With that other thing?
Guy?
Do you have that movie?
No, she experienced that as well as the.
I'm sure she did.
Like we said last time, the creepy sweatpants guys that would come in and rent porn in the morning.
I remember working.
Return it in the afternoon to rent more porn, and then return that in the evening.
I used to work at an Andy's bookstop back in early 2000. And one day this guy comes in and he's wearing like this long Hawaiian shirt, and I'm hoping he's wearing like shorts under it. And the first thing he asks is like, "Do you have adult literature?" And I was like, "You might want to go down to Barnes and Nobles. They might have Playboys there."
Here's one I have for you. It's called Little Bo Peep.
Yeah.
So the Shell station down the road sells Schwank magazine.
Yeah.
Maybe you want that.
Do you want an issue of Spank?
Spank.
Jugs.
Oh my God. Are any of those magazines even around anymore?
They are actually.
Yes. Damn.
Oh my God.
It's so weird. Now you got me laughing. I'm coughing. But I went into a convenience store and I actually did see a stack of magazines in the back behind them. I was like, shit, they still do that.
Still do it.
I probably bet you what they do is they just kind of like repeat the same pictures like
the
every
same
month.
thing.
They just buy pictures from some random photographer and just publish it. Oh, well, we just need some nudie pics, and they just throw whatever pics they can in them.
Perfect.
There we go.
Well, we started talking about earlier the cast of this because I
like
when I was
cast of this
when I was when I first saw the cast of Masters of the Universe, I was like, this is going to be a great cartoon.
I think there are tangents we go off on.
I know, right?
That's half the show. That's
20 minutes.
Charm.
Well, somebody's got to be the ringmaster.
Good job.
No, we appreciate that. Thank you.
But I mean, honestly, it goes right down to voice cast, and when you have a good voice cast, it really can emulate the parts.
Wait, who is being He-Man again?
Actor by the name of Chris Wood. I only know him actually from an episode he played Mon-El on an episode of Supergirl.
Yeah, it was only because I was unavailable.
That guy. Okay.
Yeah. So it sounds like, and I heard him doing the voice from the trailer. It's like, okay, this guy can do it. Because at first I'm thinking to myself, I wish they brought back some of the voice actors that played the voices, but now I'm sure at the point that
dead.
Well, yeah, you got like maybe 2 or 3 of them that's still around, but
assuming they can even get to that vocal.
No,
range
I'm
anymore.
sure. You do get to a point where you just can't anymore.
Well,
Right.
I mean, I mentioned like a long time. I think in another episode how like in Rogue One, Edward James Olmos who plays Darth
No, it was
Vader.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones, ladies and
We ought
gentlemen.
to smack you.
I know.
Your nerd card revoked.
Damn it.
But yeah, you can definitely tell.
But he's struggling
Oh,
to
sure.
do the Darth Vader. in that.
Absolutely.
So I mean, it's like there actually was, and I actually ended up watching it. Super 7 that does like a lot of the new Masters of the Universe figures did an animation, and they actually brought back Alan Oppenheimer as Skeletor. And you can definitely tell his voice is
different.
It's starting to be strained.
Yeah,
totally.
But the cool thing is they brought him back for the series, and he does play a character Moss Man. So
That's
Well, there you go.
that's almost like if you were to hear who was the actor that played Kit? Mr. Feeney.
Mr. Feeney.
Yes.
David William.
I think I recently saw him at one of the conventions.
It's
They had a
almost
Boy
because you
Meets
started
World.
hearing him. He did versions of something he did with voices of Kit later on in his time.
Yeah.
You could hear that it's so strained and different. Same
Yeah.
as James Earl Jones.
Yeah.
And it almost feels kind of sad.
No, I know.
You know?
I
And
know.
it's like, I just want to remember you as you
Yes.
were.
Yeah.
Well,
From-
that was a thing that floored me about Rogue One was the fact they brought Peter Cushing back the way they did it. I mean, granted,
Digitally, yes.
digitally, face, get it, no problem, understand that.
Well, the actor
but
who played
the
him.
voice,
Yeah,
the guy who did a perfect
Guy Henry.
impersonation of it.
Exactly.
I guess he's a big Peter Cushing fan.
He looks a lot like
Yeah,
him, though,
actually,
in
even
real
without
life.
the
Yeah.
even without the CGI, he does.
Yeah, he's
And
very
they've talked
gaunt-
about wanting
gaunt
to.
face.
They've actually talked about wanting to do like a Dracula audio series with him doing Ben Helsing.
Really?
Yeah,
That would have been
be so
cool.
cool.
That
And
would be
he's a great. Actually, he was originally in a BBC series called Young Sherlock, where he played a younger version of Sherlock Holmes, and this was back in the 1980s. But yeah, he's a great actor, and he's been in a lot of stuff. He played a villain in Harry Potter. He's just been one of these actors who's been around and done a lot of stuff.
Which villain was he in Harry Potter?
He played one of the Ministers of Magic, the evil one.
Minister of Magic number 37.
It's one of these things. My wife is probably going to bitch slap me for it because I don't remember it, because she'll say
Your nerd card has been revoked.
Wow, there's a lot of
Okay,
revoke
hold on.
cards here.
Oh, no. She'll just look at me and goes, and say the name. It's like, oh, yeah, I know.
Was he the actor who, when Harry and Hermione are trying to get out of the Ministry of Magic, he's running after them, flipping his wand and causing all these just portals to start blowing up?
Maybe I think he's the one after they killed the first Minister of Magic in the last movie. He shows up to say, everything's okay. He's got like the long greasy hair. And
Oh no, that's
You got me. I've never seen any.
no. That's the what's the name of that actor? He was
the name of the actor's Guy Henry.
Guy Henry.
Yeah.
No, it's not who I thought it was.
Okay.
I thought it was Ralph Fiennes.
Rafe Fiennes.
Rafe.
No, that's Voldemort.
Well, it's not like Johnny Depp, who's not in the movies anymore, and he collected all of his money and walking away to the bank.
Well,
What is he
well, I
officially
mean,
retired?
when you get beat around by
His ex-wife.
Amber Heard, yeah.
That's another story.
so sexy crazy. Anyway,
Bum, 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 bum.
so good looking crazy.
But I'm looking forward to the new series. It looks cool.
It looks like it's just
That
the
trailer.
the animation to it just looks.
Well,
It's like the
really,
animation you always kind of
really
wanted
good.
it to be.
It's
Yes,
classic
yes.
animation, but it has the same high quality you get from like anime.
And I'm glad it's a continuation because there's been so many 80s properties I wish they didn't do reboots on, and they did continuations.
Or they reboot and they change completely different.
Because they recently Netflix released a new Transformers series, and they made the characters look the way they did in the 80s, but it's like you really want to see like a continuation of the 1980s stories rather than having it be a new
do-over.
Thank you.
The burning questions
so-
left unanswered from 1985.
But here's
That's
the
exactly
thing.
it.
Here's the thing. In defense of the do-over, they're not making these shows for us. They're making these for the younger generation, our kids,
or they're making these shows for just profit because
There is that too.
They know
Well,
that
no,
they
no.
already have a market available.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. If it bombs considerably, yes, because that means they didn't put in the proper effort. They were just looking
Or
for
didn't
quick
get the
cash.
right talent.
Didn't get the right talent or whatever. No, but when you actually make a movie, you put the right people in it. And you make the right acting styles and the right directing styles, and at that point, yes, you're gonna make money. It's always gonna happen, no matter what.
yeah.
But you're at least saying, hey, not only am I getting money out of this, but I'm putting something in it.
But that's the thing I like about this new Masters of the Universe. This is going to be a continuation. They're just continuing
and also,
the story.
Being that it's from Kevin Smith, we also we also know that it's being brought from a place of
love.
True
love.
True.
Yeah. Exactly. It's being brought from a
True
place
love.
of our true love. It's being brought from a place from our hearts.
Yes.
You know, it's not like just some other corporate shield trying to come in and grab a cash.
This is a guy who grew up with the shows like us.
We know
Right,
Kevin
exactly.
Smith has, especially with Kevin Smith, with like Superman and all these other properties that he knows and feels with his heart. This is one of them that I think
This
that
guy
he's-
does not only have a nerd card, he owns the penthouse.
He is.
He
is
built the nerd card. He's
Oh,
got a
hell
platinum
yeah.
nerd card.
Kevin Smith, you're the nerd card.
Yeah.
I will say though, like,
In a good way.
You know, because they have the newer toys coming out and they're replications of the original toys.
I have some of those.
Do they have some of the new ones being created with the battle damage?
I haven't seen
Yes,
them
they
yet.
do. I see those.
Okay, if they do, I'm gonna buy one.
No, actually, Target's been selling Masters of the Universe. It's like $14.99 a figure, which is more than we used to.
See, wow.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
that's not too bad.
I mean, inflation-wise, you
No,
know.
I mean, no.
it is.
So I bought He-Man, I bought Skeletor, I bought Battle
Seriously,
Cat.
what was
You had Battle Cat.
I have Battle.
$4.99
No,
I mean,
for a Star Wars figure back in the day?
Yeah.
$4.99. That was too expensive for us.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
yeah, that was a lot
So
of money.
Well,
I mean,
not for us,
granted,
for our parents.
or for our parents, right? Now, granted, all this time you're only looking at $10. Oh, $10, that ain't that much. But no, it still is.
Yeah.
Because the cost of living hasn't really gone up.
Well, that's the other thing too. But I mean, that goes right back to my point about like how kids today have been kind of priced out of the toy market, and that
No, you're
toy
right.
makers
Yeah.
aren't going for the kids anymore.
Right. And another interesting thing is they also
They're going for
they're
the
being
schlub
electronic
parents.
out.
Yep.
They're being electronic. Honestly, my son, 6 years old, I can sit him on the sofa, put an iPad in front of him, and he will be zoned out doing whatever he wants
old
to
again?
do. Six.
This
Damn.
is kind of the reason why my 3-year-old we don't let my 3-year-old
I couldn't figure out a
play.
VIC 20, so.
No. Apple's designing stuff not for us. They design it for
No.
kids because
yeah.
kids pick
Absolutely
it up
right.
so amazingly quick.
Hold on, kids and old people.
Yes.
I gave my mom a new iPad, and she took to it faster than her computer.
Oh, that's
surprisingly, my mom did the same thing.
My mother did that with her
I got my mom
smartphone.
the new iPad, right?
you.
Oh yeah, I got her the new iPad.
It's
I got
all
her.
about
I got
the
her the
interface.
trackpad keyboard too. So
Sweet.
I hooked my mom up for
That's
Mother's Day.
My mom with a smartphone.
Always hook your mom
It's
up.
like,
on Mother's
she
Day.
figured out my dad's. I don't have any time for this.
My dad said the same
Yeah.
thing. Like take the smartphone and fucking throw it over his shoulder.
My
Be like,
dad, the engineer who worked for the government for 40 years in the Department
My
of Defense.
dad was an
still-
engineer for Polar and created the entire system that the
Okay.
Assembly line system.
He
The
still
assembly,
has.
yeah.
My dad still has his PC that runs Windows XP. He has it like in his little office den. Papers everywhere. The cover is off the machine. The machine's constantly running.
Dude.
He's like got the
Fans
RAM
are all
chips.
burned
fans
out.
are
That was
burning
the
out.
last
RAM chips,
That
Joel,
was the
RAM
last
chips.
PC I ever made. Was a XP. That was
Is it
2001.
It was like a D486.
He still runs it. He's still like using it. I'm gonna be
Where
working
does this sounds? Where's this sounds? I would pay good money for that computer because there's like a bunch of old '80s games that I would love to go back and play again.
Yeah, true. Like
I am like so mad that
Rogue
Apple
Leader or something. I don't remember.
Apple has the ability to take the the Warcraft stories, the games, the 1 and 2, put it on the iPad, no problem. They won't fucking do it.
My dad still has the Commodore 128 64K that we had when I was in high
Wow.
Are you serious?
school. I am not kidding you.
That's
Now,
cool.
Price match that. How much is it? I will bet you it's not as much as you think it is.
No, it's not.
No,
but
I was
that's
gonna
the
say
thing
it's
about my
probably not
dad.
as much.
My dad's like he still has the 1200 baud modem he bought for the thing.
Oh my
that
God.
He had the disk drive, the floppy drive, everything. I mean,
That's the sad thing. Yeah, it does. Those things were monsters. They always worked.
Just a little story here.
No.
When I was growing up, my dad did not buy me an Atari. You know what he did? He bought a Texas Instruments computer, and he said, "Oh, hey, you want to play a video game? Well, here's a book with all the codes in it." And that whole huge book with this huge amount of code, me and my
The
sister
book
would have to sit
made
down.
that sound.
It did make that sound. And then we had to enter in like hundreds of lines of code to make this
Like
game
the,
work.
Right.
Do we remember any of the code?
Like,
Oh God, no.
Nope.
do you remember the Game Shark?
Yes.
Oh my
Game Shark.
God.
Game Shark.
That would just break video games. That
Yep.
was awesome.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Game Shark. Done. You win. All right.
Well, next year, Masters of the Universe 2023, 40 years old.
I can't believe
God.
40.
40.
God.
It's it's 1980. Who'd have thought that something that was started somebody's love for like stuff like Frank Frazetta and just to, create something to sort of compete with like
Yeah.
the Star Wars toys at the time.
Sure.
Became such a big thing, sort of like Transformers, G.I. Joe. You never know at the time. These things become popular at the time and they die out, but who knows what ends up, hanging on for all these years. And here we are 40 years later talking
40
about
years
it.
later.
Yep.
He-Man's
And having-
coming back.
And there's talk about, I
Yep.
think there's going to be another series that's going to be sort of geared more towards younger kids, but also I'm kind of wondering if there's going to be another attempt at a live action He-Man movie.
If this series from Kevin Smith kicks off, which I kind of think it might, if it gets enough viewers.
Everything looks so good.
Netflix can be funny though.
Even Orko
Yes,
looks
it can be.
badass.
Absolutely.
Online, trying
Orko
to watch
Even
movies.
they
these
made
days.
Orko look bad. You're right. They made Orko look badass.
I know. I mean, if you can make Orko look badass, then
And Orko was like,
then there's a chance.
He was
no
the comic
offense
relief.
to the late Lou
Right.
Scheimer,
That's the only
but
reason he was
Orko,
created was comic relief.
Orko was one of these characters you loved as a kid, you hated as you got older. But I mean, he was
Same as Jar Jar.
No, you never. I hated.
No. Jar Jar
You hated
Jar
from the
is
beginning?
yeah. No. Exactly. But here's the thing. Orko was one of those characters. As you were young, you loved him, but as time wore on, you start realizing, oh, you're a dummy.
Yeah.
Why do we work with you? Jar Jar was just
Fuck
thrown
you,
in your
Orko.
face as what the fuck is this?
You're right. Absolutely.
Douchebag Rastafarian person doing here, man?
Yeah.
And you feel bad for the actor who played him because
Yeah.
it's like
Well,
he gets death threats. It's
And
bad
I
writing.
wouldn't be a bit surprised he put his heart in that too.
Oh, absolutely.
I'm in a
'Cause that's-
Star Wars movie. This is
No,
the
he
best
did.
thing ever for my life. I'm gonna
There's-
act the shit out of
There's
this.
actually a series created for him, and he actually Ahmed Best.
Yes.
He is a fantastic actor.
Of course
but you're
yeah.
totally right that he was pigeonholed and completely singled out by Hollywood because of what had happened with Star Wars.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's a shame because he could have done so much more.
Yeah, he could have.
He could have. Yeah. So everybody, right now, cheers.
Cheers.
Ahmed Best.
Cheers.
Ahmed
Ahmed Best. Good journey.
Cheers.
Clink.
Cheers. And to the new Kevin Smith.
Yes.
Masters of the Universe.
I'll be watching, and hopefully you will all too.
I can't wait to see it, actually. The animation, bringing back the old storyline, I really can't wait to see it.
Never forget, nobody takes pot shots at Lubeck.
You know, kids, I learned a valuable lesson today. If I stayed home and listened to the mental suppository, He-Man wouldn't have kicked my ass. So remember that, kids. Listen to the mental suppository, or He-Man will kick your ass. Till next time, wagga 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 wagga. Yes.